This is a weird world first. A gas well delivering energy that isn't gas to heat our homes. This week we're looking at ideas on how you take our old oil and gas infrastructure and repurpose it for a renewable future. Also on the show,
as Greta Thunberg is arrested protesting outside a London gathering of oil executives, we speak to someone who was on the inside.
Welcome to the UK, Greta!
We tell you why a boiler company is being investigated to see if it misled customers for marketing its boilers as hydrogen blend ready. And we meet the people turning classic MGs into EVs. And Mickey Carroll goes for a spin.
this is an old gas drilling site in North Yorkshire that a few years back was due to be fracked, which led to a massive local story of protest. Now, some of the same players are back working here, but this time they think it's a tale of redemption.
We say no! We say no!
In 2016, parts of Lancashire and Yorkshire became a magnet for protest, campaigners drawn by the threat of fracking. Here, near the village of Kirby Misperton, there were 2 years of confrontation and more than 80 arrests. The site was surrounded by security to keep the opponents out, but now one has snuck back in.
Well, as a local resident, the proposal to frack in the area came along and I looked into it, and the industrialisation, climate change and getting away from fossil fuels really motivated me.
So how come now you're working with the guys, you're best friends with Russell, and you're actually working on the site?
Well, when we were campaigning, we had to say what the solution was.
And the answer they found was geothermal.
Sat with Russell, discussed it, and I'm here today.
And Russell, you were with the Third Energy, the company that was partly responsible for the wells here.
That's right, yeah. I mean, when I joined, we were still pumping gas out of the wells, but realised that wasn't sustainable and needed to find another use for the wells.
Yeah.
And so that's when I approached Steve and discussed the idea of geothermal energy.
What was a source of fear is now a source of hope.
Well, this is the actual well that was drilled for fracking. It's about 3,000 metres deep. But it was never actually used for fracking. The protesters were successful and Steve was successful in stopping that operation. So it's perfect for testing geothermal energy. There's hot water at the bottom. All we're doing is bringing it to the surface.
Geothermal energy comes from the heat of the Earth's molten core. Water in the well warms by 30 centigrade for every 1,000 metres down. Pump it up and you've got hot water on tap.
You hear so much of no, no, no all the time. We need to be telling people this can be done and how it can be done, and this is a solution here.
Here, their show home is a shipping container.
Let me welcome you into our mock-up home. So it was important for us to actually demonstrate to people how it's going to work in the home. It's one thing to tell them that we've got hot water coming out of an old gas well, but what we've done here is mocked up what it would look like in their home. Right. So we've got radiators that are being heated.
And these are nice and warm.
By the water from the well.
Stand here. Yeah. So the water from the well is heating these radiators?
Yes, it goes through there's a heat exchanger. So the water well is on a closed loop system. And then that heat exchanger then heats the normal housing system.
Russell's company owns this well and spent a generation supplying gas into Yorkshire, including backing fracking. But in 2019 underwent a green transition to be fossil fuel free.
People are making a lot of profits in fossil fuels again. Do you feeling the temptation to go back?
No, not at all. I think once you've seen how this works and what the potential is, and you see people in the community come and fill the radiator and see the excitement, there's no interest in the company going back to fossil fuels.
This well could supply 300 homes, so we'd need a lot more wells to keep Britain toasty.
So here's how it works. They put a pipe like this down the middle of the old metal-lined gas pipe. Then they flow in cold water coming in through here down the outside of this, inside the metal, and then the hot water flows up this, out of there, to heat a radiator.
We got 8 boreholes at 300 metres or something we're drilling.
This conversion of both mines and metal could be a game changer and is attracting a lot of interest.
And that could run at maybe 30 degrees, 35 degrees.
In this group are both academics and potential customers, some of over 100 industry visitors they've had in the last month.
Plenty of ideas.
Yeah, so we've got this anaerobic digestion project, which is geothermal here. And then we've got looking here more like a mini Eden type of botanical garden type project.
Oh,
And then even
a distillery.
a distillery, yeah.
Talking my language.
There are millions of small gas wells around the world, which geothermal developers CeraPhi thinks are ripe for conversion, including a surprising number onshore in the UK.
We have something in the region of about 680 wells in the UK today, which are at the end of life or in the post sort of oil and gas phase that could be repurposed and reused for energy across the UK.
These black spots and rings are existing wells.
If we're using direct use heat from the ground as a natural resource, it's there 24/7, it's baseload, it's on demand, and it's infinitive, it's there forever.
So some companies are changing, but what about the locals? Many of them joined the protests, but a clean energy source is greeted quite differently.
We're absolutely delighted, and I think now the village has something positive to focus on, something that will provide local jobs. It does feel redemptive that something that had been so bad, not just for the village, but actually for the environment and nationally, has completely turned full circle.
For now, geothermal energy is still very rare, but widespread, cheap extraction of energy from the Earth's core would be revolutionary.